Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now the beginning of April of 2022, and we're only getting closer to the official release of the Obi-Wan Kenobi TV series, as well as the full-length trailer of that show that will debut in early May of this year. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, we have a lot of things happening between both Disney and Lucasfilm as companies to really regulate the franchise. They're really trying to find as many ways as possible to create a big balance between Star Wars Legends and the already existing Disney canon material between what Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and George Lucas are all going to do with the new Star Wars TV shows, the new Star Wars movies, the new Star Wars books, novels, comics, and video games, you name it. There is a lot of work being poured into this franchise than anybody really knows out there. You know, a lot of fans are getting very excited for what's to come next. Celebration this year, which by the way, I've said this many times before in the past, that it is without a doubt going to be considered the best celebration under Disney's wing because of the amount of announcements that they have in store and who exactly is going to be joining the stage to unveil all of these new Star Wars TV shows. So looking beyond all of this, alright, one thing that a lot of fans have been very curious about is, of course, actor Pedro Pascal and what's been happening with a specific Star Wars TV series that is set to debut around 2024 to 2025, that overall time frame where they are looking forward to expanding the Mandoverse in an even greater way than ever before. Now, we talked about the whole Pedro Pascal drama a couple of days ago. There's been quite a number of things happening behind the scenes between himself, Bob Chapek, Jon Favreau, and Dave Filoni and such. And there's a lot of other things that are brewing behind the scenes that have to do with the Bo-Katan TV series that is going to expand the story of the Mandalorians. Now specifically, now that both Disney and Lucasfilm are focused on their new Star Wars TV shows and movies, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are getting ready to announce new Star Wars shows at this year's celebration, as well as next year's that will be an even larger one for the fans. It's described, however, that currently Disney's higher-ups, including Bob Chapek, the CEO, is in serious conversations with other higher-ups in making a very important decision for one of the new TV series that recently dropped Pedro Pascal as Djarin. Now, this show is said to be the Bo-Katan-oriented TV show that will focus both on herself and Tar Vizsla in the form of flashbacks. In case you guys don't know who Tar Vizsla is, that was the Mandalorian and Jedi. However, due to ongoing drama and difficulties with Pedro Pascal, Disney had decided to drop him as the Mandalorian from this new series. As of now, Disney's higher-ups are having serious conversations about a recast for Pedro Pascal's character, Djarin, to be used in the Bo-Katan series properly. Now, it's noted that currently Disney is looking at multiple actors to replace Pedro Pascal from playing Djarin in order to fulfill the role of the character to still be used in the Bo-Katan series, since he was supposed to be a big deal in the show. Right now, Disney is described to be looking at actor Karl Urban to fulfill the role of Djarin in the Bo-Katan series strictly and only. Now, let me just stop right there for 1 second. Now, in case you guys did not know, Urban was actually in Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker, and there's been a lot of conversations about this before in the past, that Disney was going to choose between Pedro Pascal, Karl Urban, and some other actors out there to become Djarin. I digress. So, moving on beyond all of this. Now, Urban at one point played a stormtrooper in Star Wars Episode 9 by J.J. Abrams, which is why Disney is looking to actually cast Urban with his experience playing a character with a helmet over his head, and even doing a handful of his own stunts as Judge Dredd, where actor Pedro Pascal will be attached to The Mandalorian Season 4 and other projects. However, for the Bo-Katan series strictly, Disney is looking to now recast with this series to keep Djarin in the show, to keep that important role in the show. Now, Pedro Pascal is noted to have no issues with these conversations and does not care about the recast conversations, where actor Karl Urban has already been in the talks with Bob Chapek and even creators, of course, over at Lucasfilm to become a part of this new series. Now, let me just stop right here for 1 second, because this really is a big deal. I don't think it's going to be all that serious as it seems. This is just one Star Wars TV show where Pedro Pascal is said to not be Din Djarin, and is said to not actually be in the show at all whatsoever. So I don't think it's really something to get too worried about if you're a fan of the character of Din Djarin. I mean, let's look at the reality here. Anybody could play this character at the end of the day. You know, you have a guy in armor, or a suit if you will, and you have, you know, voiceover work that gets done in post-production. It's as simple as that. Now, of course, when you remove the helmet, that's where you run into problems, right? That's where you run into issues, which is exactly why the Bo-Katan series is not going to feature Din Djarin without his helmet on at all whatsoever, and that's why Pedro Pascal had a lot of problems with that overall direction of the character. He at least wanted some form of face time in the Bo-Katan series, and that, of course, was not going to involve him taking off the helmet at all, period. Now, he's still attached to Mando Season 4 and other Mandoverse-era projects, but not the Bo-Katan series. So now they're looking at Karl Urban, and like I say, Karl Urban was one of the first choice of the actors to become Din Djarin in The Mandalorian Season 1 and 2 and 3 and so on and so forth. And ever since, you know, they got Pedro Pascal, you know, they liked him, they stuck with him for a while. But he's been a little bit problematic lately, there's no doubt about that. So, moving on from all of this, alright, now Din Djarin being played by Karl Urban is actually said to have been Disney's original idea before Pedro Pascal stepped in, and that they are now essentially going back to their original plans in the first place. Now, Urban has been wanting to play in Star Wars again ever since his minor involvement in Episode 9 as a stormtrooper, and given that the Bo-Katan series will deal with tons of new Mandalorian characters, Din will not be the main focus anyways, as it will primarily focus on Bo-Katan and Tar Vizsla. So like I say, I mean, this series really sounds like it's going to be a big hit. Even if you're not a fan of Bo-Katan, it's going to have a lot of Jedi lore thrown in there. It's going to have a lot to do with the invention of the Darksaber, exactly how it was created, how Tar Vizsla became a Jedi and a Mandalorian at the same exact time. I mean, it's going to be amazing. Now, the Bo-Katan series featuring Katie Sackhoff is set to be announced later this year, however not at Celebration. This is most likely the new mystery event that Disney is trying to set up to announce new shows related to Marvel, Star Wars, and just Disney overall. And that's another thing to look forward to as well, is that we also have more announcements coming later this year, as opposed to what we are only getting at Star Wars Celebration. So there's a lot of things happening. I think that Karl Urban is very well suited for the character. Like I say, the only difficulty that they really have is the height difference, which I don't think it's all that big of a deal. I mean, you have Karl Urban, who is 6 foot 1 inches, and you have Pedro Pascal, who is 5 foot 11, if my memory serves me correctly. You know, when you look at that, that, of course, is not insanely different at the end of the day. Yeah, you're going to notice maybe a little height difference here and there in certain angles, but there's ways to kind of fix that in post. There are techniques when you're filming the character to kind of make it seem less obvious. I mean, they have ways, and they can accomplish that easily. So I don't think it's really that much of a hurdle to really, you know, go through. It's going to be an easy breeze, you know, type of situation. So overall, guys, you know, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.